Hi, my name is Inez Mackey and I am a part of the group for alcohol. Today I will be discussing what you need to know about alcohol. Alcohol is one of the oldest and most widespread downers. It's the most dangerous because it is socially accepted as well as legal. Alcohol lowers inhibitions, can cause a loss of physical and emotional control, physically affects the liver, and is damaging to the fetus in a pregnant woman. Some statistics in the United States are approximately 135 million Americans had at least one drink. 52% are 12 or older. 17 million are considered to be heavy drinkers, which means that they consume 5 or more drinks at one sitting. 60% of 11 million students had at least one drink. 40% were binge drinkers. Approximately 5.1% of 8th graders, 15.6% 10th graders, 23.7% 12th graders consume 5 drinks. $162 billion in the United States are spent on alcohol at bars, restaurants, and retail stores. 80,000 Americans died, and 50,000 of those deaths were due to car crashes, accidents, and suicides resulting in alcohol use. 25 to 30% hospital admissions are due to alcohol consumption. Half murder victims and perpetrators had alcohol before the crime. Alcohol abuse and addiction cost the government $224 billion. There are different types of alcohol and they vary in content, such as beer. 12 flow ounces is about 5%. Malt liquor, 8 to 9 flow ounces is about 7%. Table wine is about 12% for 5 flow ounces. Hard liquor such as whiskey, tequila, rum is 1.5 flow ounces, or a shot is about 40% of alcohol. Now, socially, there are different types of use for alcohol that allows them to feel the effects quicker, and some of those are Boilermakers, which is hard liquor and beer; Jaeger bombs, which is Jägermeister and root beer; Flamers, which is Dr. Pepper and 150 proof rum; Jello shots, which is alcohol mixed into Jello, and then they even go as far as mixing alcohol with energy drinks, which creates a form of speedball. Now, the way that it goes into the body is that it is absorbed in the bloodstream. It is metabolized by the liver. And in the body treats the alcohol as a poison. So as soon as it's ingested, it starts to be eliminated. Approximately 2 to 10% is eliminated without metabolization. And that is due to exhaling, sweating, urine, and saliva. The remaining 90 to 98% is metabolized through the liver and secreted through the kidney and the lungs. It is most dangerous to the liver. There's a BAC, which is blood alcohol concentration. It's absorbed at different rates because everyone is different. 1 ounce equals 1.5 drinks is eliminated every 3 hours. It circulates through the body and the brain. It is hereditary. Heredity plays a role in how it metabolizes. Physical impairment increases as the BAC rises. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes for the alcohol to travel from the intestines to the brain. 30 to 90 minutes for a person to reach their maximum blood alcohol concentration. Every state has a 0.08 regulation for intoxication, no matter the person's ability or their functioning level. Now, there are levels of use. So abstention is no use at all. Experimentation is when the person is curious. Social or recreation is with their friends. They don't really have a pattern. Habituation is generally it's a set time or place and is regular. Abuse is where it is consistent use and it has negative effects. Addiction is where the person needs and wants it all the time and it definitely affects their life in a negative way. Binge drinking is 5 or more drinks at one setting, and that can occur anywhere from experimentation to addiction. Now, the effects of alcohol is that it depresses most functions. So 724,000 visits to the ER are due to alcohol poisoning. It leads to unconsciousness, respiratory issues, cardiac failure, coma, and possibly death. The BAC level is 0.40 is what the physicians generally look at. Blackouts generally occur in a third of people who drink heavily, and that is no recall of whatever happened. However, it's called a brownout if they have some recall. Hangovers exist with headache, nausea, sensitivity to light. Withdrawals are generally worse for people who are high dose users. And sobering up, you need rest and sufficient recovery time. Just drinking caffeine doesn't work, or cold showers. Long-term use, strong association with more than 60 diseases and illnesses. It impacts the digestive system, the liver. It causes fatty liver, and that's only a few days of heavy drinking. Hepatitis, 10 to 35% of people may experience that. Cirrhosis of the liver, 10 to 15%. And cirrhosis of the liver is where it kills a number of liver cells. Gastritis, pancreatitis, stomach hemorrhaging, and it is also associated with cancer. Addiction is 12% of 145 million people. The onset occurs generally in younger males. What to look for? Aggression and or violence. Common denominator is always alcohol. It encourages pent-up anger to be released. It dismisses moral judgment and reasoning. 3 major interpersonal violences are emotional, physical, and sexual. And the least reported is emotional, which is generally verbal abuse. It's a primarily chronic disease. Its genetic, psychosocial, and environmental factors play a role. It's characterized by impaired control over drinking, and it is hereditary, for at least 89 genes have been discovered. Tragic outcomes are injuries and suicides. 15 to 25% test positive at the ER, 16% more likely to die in a fall, 10% become victims of burn or fire, and the U.S. Coast Guard reported 31% of boating fatalities have a BAC of 10 or higher. Alcohol is one of the oldest legal drugs. It's the most dangerous because it's legal and socially accepted. 2 billion people consume alcohol. 12% of 145 million are addicted. Alcoholism is a disease. It's attributed to heredity and the environment, and can cause aggression and violence in those who use alcohol. Injuries and suicide are increasing due to alcohol consumption. I thank you, and now I hand it over to my cohort, Kimberly Lorenzini. Thank you.